Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan here from Mista Rau's Gaming, and we are live again on this Tuesday evening. And I am bringing you what has become one of my favorite things to do in a day, and that is play a round or two of Turing Machine from Scorpio Masque and Hachette Games, designed by, if I was actually, well prepared for this, grab that rule book there. Designed by Johan Levitt and Fabian Griddle. Wow, oh wow, oh wow. Have they created something special in this? I'll call it a game because you can win, you can lose in this game. And it is a feat of really great component quality engineering design efforts. There is a lot of great things that are going on inside of this game. Now, Turing Machine is, well, obviously it's named after Alan Turing, which he is credited as being kind of like, the forefather, the person that really gave computer science the kick in the pants that it needed to start progressing forward. And what we have here is kind of this old school style analog machine where they would program things with punch cards. And you can kind of see here as some of our components are some of these old school, kind of a little bit more modified versions of a punch card type thing. And what you could do is you could stack these punch cards on top of one another and feed them through a machine. It would run through a program. Now, what we're actually doing here is we are going to be kind of like code breakers in a sense, where we are going to ask the machine. This is our machine all set up for today. We're going to ask the machine a series of questions trying to come up with a 3-digit code. And right now, those digits, each digit could be either 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 in all of that ones. And it has this nice little component here that holds all these lovely punch cards. And since I'm playing solo or doing the solo challenges here, I've got only just one. The box does come with multiple copies of each of the numbers and each of the colors. And so, so we're going to be asking the machine a series of questions. Now, what questions are those going to be? Well, I'm actually going to get things set up here first, just to kind of know. So if you want to play along and you have your own copy of Turing Machine, what I'm going to be doing here, this is being recorded and this is being brought to you live on January the 10th. I'm going to be doing the daily challenge on January the 10th here. So I'm just going to select daily challenge here. And I'm going to select solo co-op and I'm going to generate this. And so right there up at the top, number B63T9IP, that's going to be the solo daily challenge for January 10th, 2023. So you can go ahead there and you can select the verifier card. So I've got the verifier cards here. So numbers 1, 7, 9, 11, 15, and 19 are all around my thing. So there's A, and then off to the side here, you can kind of see then there are the actual verification cards. Sorry, these are the criteria cards. Sorry, and then the verification cards I've got set off to the side over here, just because if you are playing this at a table here, you can essentially what you would have it built off to the side, and then this one would be attached here, and just to kind of so things are a little bit more zoomed in for us tonight. I've just kind of taken the liberty of just kind of putting the the criteria cards right face up so that you're not having to turn your head, crank your head, or anything like that. And I just got the verifier cards just set off to the side, but I have them marked with the dry erase marker. I do have them marked which verifier card goes with which criteria card. And so that's how they set up the game. And now in a solo challenge or a cooperative challenge here, we are going to try to ask this machine a series of questions to try to come up with this 3-digit code. But in the back end, the machine knows what the answer is, and it knows exactly. It knows kind of like its process of being able to deduce what the code is. And so it knows the minimum number of questions that it could ask in order to solve the code. So what we have to try to do is either match or beat that that number of questions. Now, I really hope I'm not jinxing myself tonight, but I am on kind of a little bit of a streak here. If you follow me on Twitter at Mista Rau Gaming, I've been posting my daily results, and right now I'm sitting at 6 daily challenges successful in a row. Tonight would be number 7. So I really, really hope that I don't screw this up tonight. So this is how it's actually, and how this is actually going to work. And you can play along with me if you want to interact in the chat, and you can give me suggestions of what we should try to test. But what we're going to have to try to do here is we're going to try to come up with a 3-digit sequence that we are going to test in this machine. And here are the questions that we can ask for today's daily challenge. In criteria A here is asking us whether or not the blue triangle, so that's the very first number in the sequence, is the blue triangle 1 or bigger than 1. So the way my brain's starting to work here, chances are that this number is probably bigger than 1. But they do say in the rule book that you do need to use your, you do need to use all of the criteria cards in order to try to deduce the cards. So this, I don't know, this might be a little misleading, but maybe not. So let's just we'll just keep going. I already got it kind of in my mind that the probability of the blue card being greater than 1 is actually pretty darn good. Okay, criterion B is whether or not the last number, the purple circle number, is either an even number or an odd number. We can test to see how many 3s are in this code. Is it consisted of all 3s? 2 3s? 1 3? No 3s? That's a little bit harder to do. This one always, these types of cards always seem to try to throw me. A couple days ago, one of these ones really threw me for a loop because it didn't, what I was deducing didn't match what I had gotten on this card. So, and let's see here, letter D here is comparing the first digit and the middle digit, the blue triangle and the yellow square here, and comparing them. Is the blue less than the square? Are they the same number, or is the blue triangle bigger than? And I'm just going to actually skip over to F here because I can see here that in F, we are also comparing the blue triangle and yellow square and whether or not their sum, if you add them together, is less than 6, equal to 6, or greater than 6. So those two kind of are interesting, and they go kind of hand in hand. And then also we can also test which digit is actually the biggest digit in the sequence. So here we go. So we got to come up with, or I'm going to try to come up with, I don't know how many people are in the chat right now or are viewing this, but I'm going to have to try to come up with a 3-digit code that I am going to want to test in this sequence to help me try deducing. I am going to save this one for last. I'm not going to really, because I like I'm saying, the probability of this card, the blue triangle being bigger than 1 is actually pretty good. So I'm not going to know, but I am going to try maybe focus on early on here is I'm going to try to focus on criteria D and criteria F, since those ones are very closely related. Okay, so let's go with let's try a test one here. Should we test? Maybe how am I going to do this too? I don't know which ones I should go with first here. Okay, I'm going to try a code of what should I test to see if the middle one's the smaller one than the bigger one, and whether or not they are less than 6. Okay, I'll just try this. I'm going to try to see if the triangle, the first digit is less than the middle digit, and whether or not the first and middle digits add up to less than 6. So let's try let's try a first digit of 2 a middle digit of 3. That fits that criterion. So that I'm going to be testing this. I'll be testing that the first digit's less than the middle digit. And I'm also going to be testing that the first and middle digits sum is less than 6. I'm going to test that, and then I also have to test the last number. Maybe we will test whether or not... well, I can either test whether or not that last digit is even or odd, or I can test if that last digit is the biggest digit, actually. Would actually also help me out a lot here. So I'm just going to go 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's going to be my test. Now notice that when I overlapped all those, I don't care if I can do this here. After I overlapped all 3 cards, that there is a single punch out. There's a single punch out. Because on the backs of these cards are a series of check marks and X's. So when I ask the question, it's going to tell me whether or not that criterion is good, or it passes the test, or it fails the test. So here we go. I've got a sneeze coming on, so woo, excuse me, pardon me. Okay, so which one? Okay, wait, sorry, I got my pad of paper here so that I can keep track of all of my informations here. I am testing 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to ask that 2, 3, 4. I am going to ask that on criteria D. So I'm going to take the D verifier here. I'm going to flip it over, and here you go. You can see that there's a series of X's and check marks, and I'm going to take my code here, and I am going to test that. I'm going to test it. So I'm going to slide it over here. Make sure that everything nicely lines up, and 2, 3, 4, the blue, and it looks like it fails. So it's telling me that the blue number is not less than the first digit is not less than the middle digit. So that means that either they are the same, or the first digit is bigger than the middle digit. So I'm just going to make some notes here, so I know that it is. So for criterion D here, that triangle is not less than square. Okay. Now at the same time, I said I was going to test criterion F. Oh, I should also mark down. I also have to mark down, and keeping track here, that criterion D failed, so that I can always backtrack my steps. Okay, now there is a limitation though on how many times I can ask the machine about this particular code. I can only ask the machine 3 questions about this code. So I got to be very careful of what I do for my second and third guesses. But I do want to compare the first and middle digits and their sum. I want to know if their sum is less than 6. Well, right now I'm going to be testing whether or not that sum is less than 6. So that's criterion F. So I'm going to take verifier F, which I've got marked off. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to slide it over, and that's exciting. That the first and middle digits do add up to less than 6. So that's actually pretty exciting. So criterion F passed. So we do know that triangle plus square is less than 6. So now I'm going to have to use that information. Right now I've got 2 pieces of information here. I know that triangle is not less than square, middle is not less than, but they do add up to less than 6. Now what was I going to ask about the purple digit again? I was going to ask about the last digit. I guess I have 2 options here. I can ask whether or not it is odd or even. So I can ask if it's even, and it would either pass or fail, and that would be a straight up. Or I could ask if it is the... Actually, if I already know about these ones, I should probably ask this one. I should probably see if it's the biggest. because that could also help me narrow down what the first and middle digits. Okay, I'm going to ask criterion E. I'm going to ask whether or not because I do have it set up right now that the purple digit is the largest. I'm going to ask if the purple digit is the largest number in this code. And it is. Interesting. So I know that by criterion E passes, I definitely know that circle is bigger. Oh, sorry, circle is the biggest. I was greater than this and triangle. So circle is the biggest. Now the way that this actually works, so circle is the biggest. That means it's definitively the biggest in this particular case. So what I know right now for sure from that is that I know that triangle and square are not 5. I know for sure that they are not 5. Circle could be definitely 5. It could be that would definitely make it the biggest. So I'll go with that. And now I know that okay, so if I know they have to be less, they have to add up to less than 6. So yeah, all of these possibilities. Well, except for they can't be 4 and 3, 3 and 4, because that would add them up to, well, it has to be less than 6. Can't be equal to 6. So that's actually even more interesting information. Knowing that it can't be 4, and like triangle and square could not both be 4 and 4. They could not be 4 and 4, but I could have a 4 and a 1, or a 1 and a 4. Oh, but wait, what did I also say? Triangle is not less than square. So triangle is either the same as the square or it is bigger than the square. That actually limits my possibilities in there. Okay, let's ask some more questions. I got to come up with a brand new code. I got to come up with a brand new 3-digit code that I am going to ask the machine. I'm just going to kind of slide my my code punch cards in here, and let's try to come up with something that's going to help me out. Because in my experiences with these solo daily challenges, you want to try, probably by the end of this round, by the end of this round, I'm going to probably be able to deduce what the code is going to end up being. Hi, Rachel or Rochelle. I actually have no idea how to pronounce your name. You're also telling me that circle cannot be 1. That is also true. If the circle is if circle is also the biggest, that is definitely meaning that is definitely not the smallest. So I can also eliminate. Thank you. Great catch on that one. I also really, really love this puzzle end game. It is so clever. A real big feat in component production. How they created this is beyond me, but kudos to everybody else out there. Okay, so I tested 2, 3, 4. I've come up with that circle is the biggest, that triangle plus square has to be less than 6, and that triangle is definitely not less than the square. So what should I test? Should I test to see if they're the same? Should I test to see if they're the same? Now me doing the assumption on this one is kind of like, oh man, maybe I should actually return to this one, because if it's 1, I probably should have tested this one at some point in time. But let's check, because they also gave us this verifier of how many 3s are in the code. That would have been a good one to test there as well. Let's go with Rochelle. I apologize if you're still watching. What would you say? Let's play together. Let's play, unless if you've already played the daily challenge. Because if you've already played the daily challenge, then this doesn't work. You have to let me be to my own devices. But if you have not done the daily challenge today, what should we try to go with as a good second guess? What should we try to whittle down? I do kind of want to try to figure out how many 3s there are in the code, because that would help us out a lot. That would help us out a tremendous time, and I probably should try to maybe I should really focus on these 3. I should try to focus on whether or not the last number is even or odd. Because right now it's a 50-50. Haven't done the daily challenge. Give me a second to think. Yeah, absolutely. Because it's going to take me it takes me a little bit to think, because I like to try to go through all the permutations and probability. I think I'm going to be focusing on these 3 questions. I'm going to focus on B, C, and D here. I think I'm going to try to focus on those ones. I'm going to try to figure out how many 3s there are. I'm going to try to figure out if the last digit is even or odd. And I'm going to ask one more question to really narrow down that D. To really narrow down that letter D. I am actually just going to try. I am going to try. And I know that it has the circle that it has to be the biggest. So maybe I am going to just say, well, what if I just try, like, is it a possibility that there are 3? No, it's not possible for it to be 333, because I do know that the first 2 digits have to be some less than. So if it was like a 3-3, that can't work. That can't work. I can't go 4-3, because that would make the triangle big. I could be, no, it couldn't be 3-4-5. Okay, I'm starting to put things together here. It can't go 3-4-5, because 3-4 is bigger than 6. That can't happen. I can't go 3-3, because that would equal 6. It can't be that. So let's just go down. Let's go 2, 3. Let's test 2. Oh wait, I already tested 2, 3, 4. Let's go 1. Let's go 1, 2. I'm going to try 1, 2, 4. Therefore, I'm going to be testing to see how many, if there's no 3, because if there's no 3s in this thing, that makes this really a really fun problem. 1, 2, 4. If that turns back that, then that helps me. Also, that Okay, I'm gonna try testing 1, 2, 4, and let's see what that comes up with. 1, 2, 4 sounds good. Good, I got confirmation here. So 1, 2, 4 sounds pretty good. Let's just work our way around it, because I want to know whether or not the last digit is even or odd. So that is criterion or verification card B. So I'll put it down, and that is it. So it is not even. So the last digit is not even. So that means that the last digit is odd. So B here is that circle is odd. So circle is odd, so it can't be 2, it can't be 4, so it's either 3 or 5. That's perfect. Let's test to see if there are no 3s. And yeah, and then you can check if circle, perfect. So let's go with how many 3s. So let's check. I didn't mark. I gotta mark these things down so that I can put them back into the computer. B was a fail. C, how many 3s? This will tell me if there's no. This was going to tell me if there's no 3s in there, then I think we're off to the races. If there's no 3s in this, then we're off to the races. Please. Oh my God. There are no 3s in the sequence. I think we lucked out. I think we may have lucked out here. So this passes C. There are no 3s in the sequence. We really lucked out here. We really lucked out here. So that's 5 questions. Ooh, if I could deduce this right now based on this information. So we would definitely... Okay, wait. Maybe... No, I think I do have to ask it I do think I have to ask it another question. Now, here's the thing. I don't have to ask 3 questions about this code. I don't have to ask 3 questions about this code. I could stop here and create a new code and ask a different question. I don't have to ask a full 3 questions per round. But maybe what can I... Okay, well, is there any shame? No, there's no shame. There's no shame in trying to figure. I should ask it verification D again. Because then that would be, I would know that if triangle needs to be bigger than, yeah, that would help me out. If triangle is, wait, did I already? Oh no, wait, I already. Oh boy, Oh, is triangle equal to 1? Yeah, I guess the one that I've been ignoring this entire time, just because I've been under the assumption, that it's always got to be bigger than 1. I just been ignoring that just because I assume that it's bigger than 1, because the probability of it being bigger than 1. But I could test that, because what would happen here if triangle is not 1? And triangle is not less than... I guess verification A. I really should have set it up. To see if triangle was bigger than square. That's what I should have done. Or triangle equal to square. I should have set that up a little bit better. Oh, gosh. Yeah, because if triangle is not equal to 1, triangle is 4 and 2, and is not less than. So we've deduced. Oh, gosh, yeah. Oh, boy. I really don't want my streak to end. Okay, well, let's just... Okay, I guess I'll try it. I'm going to try it. Whether or not triangle is equal to 1. I'm pretty sure that this is... I'm pretty sure this is going to fail, because probability states that it's going to fail. And triangle is not equal to 1. So my gut instinct was correct, but at least we verified that it is not equal to 1. It's got to be bigger than 1. So triangle is not 1. Okay, so back to the drawing board on creating a new code to test. So what can we deduce here? Can we do anything else? We know that there was no 3s. And hey. It's fine. I set myself up for failure on that one, because I should have actually arranged it that I just need to ask one more question. I need to ask whether or not triangle is bigger than square. That's what I need to ask. I need to ask that question. So as long as I pick up where triangle is bigger than square, so let's test 4, 2, 5. I'll test that one. 4, 2, 5. I just need to ask one more question. Well, wait. Do I even need to ask that? Because 4. Wait. 4 and 2 is 6. It has to be less than 6. 2 and 4. It can't be 2 and 4, because then that would also be less than 6. Or sorry, that's equal to 6. That can't happen. So it can't be 4 and 2, 2 and 4. Haven't you already worked out that it is not? That is not. That's in your notes. No, I was just going under the I was just assuming from the beginning that triangle was going to be bigger than 1 just because of probability. That's all I was going with. I think I'm on a train of thought here that it can't. The combination or the permutation couldn't be 2 4 4 2. It needs to either be 2 1 or 2 2. Yeah, so it's either 2 2 5 or 2 1 5 is the probability here. Is the possibility. So I'm down to so I guess it is that criterion. I should have asked whether or not triangle. But I know that triangle is wait. But I know that triangle is not less than the square. Triangle is not less than the square. So wait, triangle is bigger than the square. So wait, wait. Triangle could be bigger than the square, which that would work, and triangle could be even. Yeah. Yeah, so it's either going to be 215 or 225. That's going to be the only possibilities here. So I have to ask whether or not triangle is bigger than square. And I'm going to test 215 instead of 4. I'm going to test 215. 215. And I'm just going to ask it this question. Is triangle bigger than square? Is triangle bigger than square? Triangle is not bigger than square. Triangle is not bigger than square. Therefore, it has to be the sequence has to be 225. The sequence has to be 225. If that makes any sense from my thing. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to test my code. I'm going to say that it's 225. Congratulations. This is okay, perfect. I got the code. I got the code right. Perfect. Now, did I beat the machine? I don't. If I was a betting man, I don't think that I beat the machine. So let's see here. In round 1, D was a fail, E was a pass, F was a pass. In the second round, A was a fail. I shouldn't have asked that one because I guess I needed to ask it just to be sure. C was a pass, and then I had to add a third round to verify D once again. Did I beat the machine? Oh, I did. Congratulations, you beat the machine. You found the code in 3 rounds, 7 questions. The machine also took 3 rounds, 7 questions. Oh my gosh. Yes. My streak continues. Right on. That's awesome. I totally thought asking that extra question was going to take me out of the running of beating the machine, but it worked out. I guess the machine had to ask that extra question as well. Well, then, that is awesome. My streak continues at 7 daily challenges in a row. Phew, I am so happy that I didn't lead you to failure. You did not. You helped me out. I definitely should have actually probably kept that one. Because they do say in the rule book, you should verify all the criteria. You do need to verify all of the criteria. And so confirming that, if I could have asked some other questions along the way to really take that one out, but I would have. But hey, that's the way it works. I am so happy that I beat the daily challenge again for Turing Machine. 7 in a row. Lucky 7. Let's see how far I can take this. And actually for the time being, all I've worked with in this game is I just been playing these daily challenges, these kind of like the standard way of playing things. I'm just gonna try to get my components all organized here. I've been playing the standard way of things, but they do have. I'm afraid to try this live on. I'm afraid to try this live on stream here. I should practice it probably first. That they do have. Where are they? The alternate modes of alternate modes of play. They have what is referred to as, what do they call them? I know one's referred to as Nightmare, and that one does not sound fun at all. But they do have like a more like kind of like a more advanced kind of like expert mode, and I'm trying what page in the rule book is this? I'm trying to find it. Why can't I? Am I just glancing at it, staring me right in the face, and I am not? It's not during the gameplay section, is it? No, it's not. Is it during setup? No. Oh, it's right here. Online problems. That's it. Online problems. So I'm here. I'm on the website. You can kind of see it popped up there. Here you will find two new, more challenging modes of play. We got Extreme. First is called Extreme. Has 2 cards in front of each verifier, but only one valid criterion amongst those 2 presented on the 2 cards. The other is Nightmare mode, is called Nightmare mode, where you don't know which verifier is associated with which verification card. That one doesn't sound fun at all. But the Extreme mode does have me intrigued. Good evening, Norm. Thanks for joining us. Hey. So yeah, that one would be like there are for like say C here. C would have 2 cards, but only actually one of them is actually in play, and the other one is a distractor. So you'd have to use your powers of deduction to try to figure out which one of the cards is actually telling the truth and which one is like not. I think before I attempt that on stream, I think I do need to practice that one out loud, because I am too big of a wuss to try it in front of the camera. I'd feel like I would freeze on that one. But I think I will set up. I think I'll just go like not do a daily challenge. I'm just gonna generate a random game. I'm gonna generate a random game and see if I can deduce the puzzle for it. So if you bear with me, maybe ask me some questions in the chat. I'm going to get set up another game here. I'm just going to go back to this website here. I'm just going to go back to the game, back to the home page. That's what I want. And I am just going to play. I'm just going to actually just play, not do the daily challenge. I'm going to play and see here. You can see that there's a lot of different modes of play going on here. I'm going to do another solo game. I'm just going to do classic. Extreme and Nightmare actually terrify me without actually practicing them ahead of time. I'll just do a standard difficulty. Well, maybe let's do a hard one. Yeah, why not? Let's do a hard one. And yeah, let's do we do 6? No, let's do 5 verifiers. So let's just do that one. I'm going to generate a random game, a classic solo game, hard. I want to give me a hard puzzle. Let's see if we can do it. Let's see if we can figure it out. 5 verifiers, and we'll generate that game here. So there we go. It bumps it up, tells me which cards I'm going to need, and which verification cards I need to be looking for. So I'm just going to take some. If you really don't mind here, I'm just going to take some time. I'm going to just kind of gather up all my components here. Do I have any one of those? No, I don't think I have any of those ahead of time here. So I'm just going to set those ones aside. We do have a stack here. There are 48 different criterion cards. There's 48 different criterion cards. So Hi, Daniel. Good to see you. Good to hear from you, buddy. Which ones do I need here? I need 21. Okay, so we're going to 21 here, and 21's asking us if there is a number present exactly twice, or there's no pairs. Okay, that seems like a very funny one. 25 is going to ask us, this verifier verifies if there is a sequence of ascending or descending numbers. Ooh, that's fun. So no sequence of numbers in ascending or descending order. 2 numbers in ascending or descending order. 3 numbers in ascending or descending order. That is an interesting one. We're getting into some cards that I have not played with. Let's see here. 33 is another card here. Oh, verify that a specific color is even or odd. Oh, wow. Oh, that's a fun one. That's okay. Ooh. I can see why this one's going to be hard. But maybe we can all work together here. Oh my gosh. The number of one specific color compared to the number 3. So we're no longer just like one card is comparing a specific number. This one, yeah, this one, these ones are actually looking very tricky. So this one's verifying all 3 colors comparing to the number 3. Maybe the machine will cut me some slack. Maybe we do have to ask. Maybe we have to ask a lot more different questions. And then the answer of the universe, 42, is which color is the smallest or the largest? Wow, did I do it to myself tonight? Did I do this to myself tonight? Okay, so now we got to grab... And now all of these verification cards, the way that they kind of have it is how they're rotated here. There's numbers along the edges. There's yellow, there's green, there's purple, and there's blue numbers all around the edges here. It's saying I'm going to need to take a look at the green numbers and pull out the correct numbers here. So just give me a quick second on that. Hopefully maybe are any of these ones? Nope. 609, nope. 650, nope. The chances are really low for this actually happening. 233, nope. 654, nope. And 646, nope. So they're all in the stack here. So let's just divide it in half here and just take a look at. So I need a 339. And that one is right, went right by it. Right there. That's verification card A. That one's going to be A. I'm just going to put them in sequence here. I need 746. 746 is going to be right there. That's going to be verification card B. I need number 403, which is right there. That is verification card C. 346. Is right there. There is verification card D. And I need 329. 329 is right there. And that's verification card D. And then, of course, I'm going to end up putting these all back in order after stream. Alrighty. And I should just so I don't get them mixed up. A, B, C, D, and E, just so I don't get them mixed up. And we'll go onto the back here and make it for our notepad. And away, oh my gosh, Rachel, where are we starting? Man, oh man, C, D, and E don't specifically point out a specific color. That is hard. That is definitely hard, but I think we should also work with A and B here, because whether or not there's going to be pairs or no pairs, and ascending, descending, or no descending and descendings would be very helpful. Would be very, very helpful for us to try to figure out. So, do we just do the old? Do we just try? Do we try just doing? Starting with A and B, agreeing. Do we try? Do we just try the old 1, 2, 3? Do I try like just an ascending order 1, 2, 3? That'll tell me if there's 3 numbers ascending or descending. That'll tell me if there is no pairs or there's going to be a pair. And then I can just choose one of these. I can choose one of these things to test on one of those colors. Make 2 of the number the same. Just to test to see if we have a pair or not. Or yet 1, 2, 3. Let's try old tried and true. The way I started playing this game by using until I developed a little bit better powers of deduction. But I'm going to try old 1, 2, 3, and let's see. I was a poet and didn't even know it. So I got my 1, 2, 3. So let's check whether or not there are no pairs in the sequence. This failed. So that means we have a pair in this sequence. That helps us out tremendously. So verification card A failed. So we know we have we know that there is a pair in the code. We don't know where the pair is, if it's the first 2, if it's the first and the last, or it's the last 2. That's all we really know right now, is that we do have a pair somewhere in this one. Let's take a look at if 3 numbers are either ascending or descending. That is verification card B. So right now we have numbers ascending, but this is going to tell us whether or not the 3 numbers are. Well, here, I'll just do it and see what happens here. This failed. So this failed. So that means 3 numbers are not going up sequentially. Yeah, there's 3 numbers not going up sequentially or down sequentially. I don't know how to write that. I'm going to actually just double check here, because their examples always go 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2. I wonder if they have to differ by 1. This is verification card 25. So I want to take a look at it. The verifier verifies that there are either increasing or decreasing values in a 2-digit consecutive sequence and a 3-digit consecutive sequence, or none at all. So it is not consecutive. Okay, that was not printed on the card here. It didn't say anything about being consecutive. The verifier does not know if the sequence is increasing or decreasing. Got it. But we know that it's not 3 consecutive increasing or 3 consecutive decreasing. No consecutive, no 3 consecutive increase or decrease. My handwriting's really, really messy because I got this crappy old marker here. 3 digits, yeah, there are 3 digits are not consecutive, either increasing or decreasing. So we got that narrowed down. And our last question we will ask the machine tonight for this 1, 2, 3. Well, we can check whether or not. It's very interesting in how these ones actually work. whether a specific number for a specific color is even or odd. Let's just take a look. I'm just going to take a look at that one because 33. The verifier verifies that the number of a particular color that they know is odd or even. Example, the triangle number is even. Watch out. The other numbers could also be even or odd depending. Oh, so the machine is got a specific color in mind. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. How's my brain going to sort this one out? And it must be the same for numbers 40 and 42. Number 40 here, 42, verifies that the number of a particular color that they know is either less than or greater than the other numbers. Yeah, so the machine's got a particular color in mind. So I guess we're going to have to do some deductions and try to find some contradictions in order to help us out for that. Oh, gosh. Okay, I've not encountered these cards before. So, all right, I didn't mark down that B. Failed. Keep that in mind. So let's, okay, I'll ask C. I'll ask verification card C. And this fails. So let's try to figure this out. So either triangle is even, square is odd, or circle is even. No, that's not the way that I read it. Where it's looking at a specific number. So C failed. Okay. So C failed, which means if they were looking at the blue number, it's going to tell me that it's even. Oh my gosh, how do I make notes about that? Or because I don't know which color that this machine is thinking of in this case. I don't know what number this machine is thinking of. I guess I have to try to come up with some sequences here to try to determine whether or not, as soon as I get a success, then I have to actually compare my notes. I'm going to need a bigger paper. I'm going to need a bigger paper for this. My goodness gracious. There we go. I'm going to grab this bigger piece of paper here. So when I went 1, 2, 3, it failed on the even odd question. Okay, I got that on the side here. Okay, back to the drawing board. And 3. Okay, let's come up with a new number. Okay, so we know that there's a pair in the sequence. I should use that to my advantage here. There is a pair in the sequence. Let's do that. We know it's not 3 ascending numbers, but Now, wait a minute. If there's a pair in the sequence, can this ever do ascending and descending then? I don't think it can. There's going to be no sequence of numbers in ascending or descending order then, if there's got to be a pair in there. So I don't need to ask this question anymore. Because I know it's going to be there's going to be no rhyme or reason if there has to be a pair. If there has to be a pair, I guess we could have actually deduced that. We could have probably asked a different question at that time. Interesting. So let's go with, if I know that there's a pair in the code, Yeah, for two numbers. Yes, for two numbers. So, if there's a pair in the sequence, we definitely know that one number, one of these colors, one of these digits is going to have to either be the biggest or the smallest compared to those whatever the pair is. To whatever the pair is. Interesting. I have no idea. I can't even gather a guess on my well, I know it's not going to be there's not going to be three digits, so I can't guess. I was looking at this one here and trying to see if it's going to be like 333. I was going to try to test 333, but that wouldn't make any sense. But I could say test something along the lines of do something along the lines of like 3 and then 5. Let's see if this works along my. Let's see if this does my train of thought good. I'm gonna try testing 335, and hear me out here. And hear me out. I'm now gonna test the even-odd question again, because all of these numbers are odd. If this comes back true, I know that one of these numbers has to be odd. But if this fails, that means my numbers have to be even. Right? Is that how you? If this fails, let's just do it. Letter C, verification card C. This fails. So that means if they were looking at this number, it's not odd. So that means this, but if they were looking at this number, it's not odd. And if they were looking at this number, it's not odd. So what that's telling me about my three numbers is, because this would have come back true if one of these numbers, this would have been true if one of these numbers was actually, that means my numbers have to be even, right? Does that make sense? I'm so glad that this is live. Am I interpreting that correctly? So if the machine was looking at this and it failed, that means it would have to be even. But if it was looking at this one and this one failed as well, so I think I just deduced that my three numbers need to be even. I sure hope that I'm not making a bad assumption there. So since C failed, I am making the deduction point that the three numbers are even. So I'm really hoping I'm doing this right, because that eliminated a lot of numbers. That my three numbers have to be even, and that there's a pair. Oh my gosh! I think the wheels are starting to turn now, and it's starting to scare me. So if I determine that the three numbers need to be even, none of them are odd. Oh my gosh. So I've got a sequence of 2s and 4s here. I got a sequence of 2s and 4s. Now I bet you there's probably a better... I might actually just stop. I might actually just stop with that one. I think there's probably a better sequence of numbers that I can ask the machine to verify D and E. Because it's going to be D and E that are going to really solidify this one for me. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to actually put these, numbers back because I think that there's probably a better, sequence of numbers, because maybe I try comparing. Oh, wait. I should have maybe asked. How do I ask this one? Verify which color is the smallest or the largest. I guess. Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta think, because that one really clicked with me. That the three numbers have to be even. I asked it a question where it had to give me information. I asked it a question where it had to give me information about all three numbers. That was actually pretty. Actually, I kind of like that in the deduction process. Now, I'm trying to think of, is there a number? Well, maybe we'll take a look at this one, comparing it to the number 3. Yes, because I've already whittled down that my sequence is either going to be with 2s and 4s. So I definitely know that this is not going to return back anything with the 3s. Let's ask it, say, oh, is that how this is going to work? Is this going to work with if let's say if I ask it like, if I ask it like 4, because I kind of want to ask it something like 442 or 242 or something. I want to ask it something like that, but how am I going to ask that in this particular, for this particular card, where it's comparing all of the numbers to the number 3? Because if I asked something like 224, let's say if I asked it like 224, and it passes or fails. Well, I guess I know it's not going to be like, yeah, because I don't want to ask it 335. Do I ask this one 335? No, I can't ask that one. I got to come up with a new number. Let's come up with 224. Or maybe I don't try to get, maybe I just try to just will it down. Like if I asked it 222 in this criterion, and it comes back that it is, well, no, it's going to come back something. It's going to come back. Oh wait, I got a brainwave here. I'm going to ask it 224. I really hope that this, and I'm going to ask it criterion D. I don't know if this is if there's method to this madness. I'm going to ask it about D. Okay, and it failed. So that means if it was looking at this number, if it was looking at this if it was looking at this number, that means it would have to be bigger than 3, which means it would have to be 4. If it was looking at this number, and it failed, it would also have to, and if it was, so is the sequence 442? Did I do that right? Am I just making some wrong assumptions here? Because I compared it to this number, it failed. I compared it to this number, it failed. If I compare it to this number, it also failed. So it failed across looking at all of the different numbers. Whichever number it was looking at. Am I doing this wrong? Because if that was the case, then maybe I just get. You know what? I'm actually just gonna do this. That was criterion D, fail. Is the sequence 442? No, it's not. Dang it. Okay. Sorry. Okay, back to the game. It was not 4. Okay, so I would so in a competitive game, I would have just lost because I guessed a number and it didn't work, so I am out of the game. I'm pretty sure that's not how it works in solo. I can probably still. Can I use that information now? Can I use that information now? Or am I? Or is my game as a solo player in this example done? Or can I use that information? I've never actually. On your own or in a team, solve the problem in the fewest rounds and questions possible using only one. Once you have found a code, click on machine. You will discover how many rounds, blah, blah, blah. You must have done as well or better than the machine. You discover how many rounds. Would you say that I'm out? Because I know, because I just tried 442. That didn't pass. I think I interpreted these these cards incorrectly when I was testing them. Because it's only looking at one particular color. My gosh. So if it what, but that just maybe I'm just thinking about this. I'm thinking about these cards completely incorrectly. Is what's happening here. Is that I've made an assumption. So I need to go back to the drawing board here. I made an assumption. That assumption is obviously incorrect. Because I'm just gonna rewind back to the code 335. 335. I'm gonna rewind back when I tested verification card C, and it failed. It was comparing the numbers. It's looking at a specific number and whether or not it is even or odd. Oh. If it was looking at blue, it's failed. But it's not looking at blue. Maybe it's looking at this one. But that's not looking at all of them collectively. Oh my gosh, that's my big mistake. Oh my gosh, see, I had it off. See, I thought I had it off way too easy then. Yeah, that would have been way too easy if it was looking at, but it's only looking at one number. Correct? It's only looking at one number. Not all three of them. Okay. So this failed. So I can't say that the three numbers are even. So how do you deduce which number it's looking at without actually see how my brain would work here is now I would just keep changing. I would just keep changing just one number. Until it actually succeeded. Should I just do that? That doesn't seem like it would beat the machine, though. Doesn't seem like it would be the most efficient way of asking the question. Oh, boy. This is... Okay, hard mode is hard. It's putting my brain to the max here. I like the daily challenge better. I do. I really, really do. Let's take a look here. What should I... Oh, my gosh. Okay. So if I go back to 335 here, and I asked it verification card D. It also, whichever number it's looking at, failed. If it was looking at the blue 3, maybe that's the way I got to look at it. Maybe that's the way I got to maybe that's how I got to maybe make my notes. So if it was looking at triangle, maybe that's how I'm going to make my notes. If it was looking at triangle, triangle would have been even. If it was looking at triangle, triangle is not equal to 3. If it was looking at square, square would have been even. And if it was looking at square, square is not equal to 3. If it was looking at circle, circle would have to be even. And if this card was looking at circle, it is not bigger than 3. It's got to be less than or equal to 3. I think that's the way I got to maybe start making my notes, is that if I was looking at the particular criterion, so this was C, and this is D. Okay, so D failed on that code. Alrighty, and then I looked at the number. Then I looked at the number 224. Looked at the number 224 on verification D. Verification D, and it failed. So that would say if it was looking at triangle, triangle would not be equal to 3, and triangle would not be triangle would have to be greater than 3 then, if it was looking at that particular one. If it was looking at the square, would also have to be bigger than 3 if it was looking at that. And this failed, and so yeah, it would have to be, circle would still have to be less than or equal to 3. I didn't whittle it. I didn't verify it down any further than that. Okay, I think I know exactly what I've been doing here. Okay. My gosh. This is going to start hurting my brain here right away. Because now I got to try to whittle down. That there is a pair. There is a pair in here. So if it was looking at triangle, triangle is going to be bigger than 3. And we got to try to figure out which color it's actually looking at for these pieces of information. Oh my gosh. Any ideas out there? Any ideas? Did I bite off more than I can chew? Are there any ideas out there? Are there any ideas out there so that I can help me out? Oh my gosh. I didn't actually see that there was chat happening. My chat scrolling was not working. Sorry, Rochelle. It can still be ascending or descending for 2 numbers. And one of those numbers is right. Yeah. It can still be ascending or descending. You are correct. Oh my goodness gracious. I've bit off more than I can chew with this one, because now my brain is breaking. My brain is breaking. So what if we did... What if we did 223 instead of 224? I'm going to try that. What if I did 223 instead of 224? And I asked that exact same question in verifier D. That failed. So that failed. So that would also mean that if it was looking at circle, circle would end up having to be less than 3. Okay. That's okay. It got hard for me, but I am enjoying thinking about it with you. Thank you. So I'm trying to whittle down what each criterion, what the color the criterion is actually asking about. But I do have some things over on the side here that, looking at verification card C, if it's looking at triangle, triangle is even. If it's looking at square, square is even. If it's looking at circle, circle is even. For verification card D now, what I have is that if it's looking at triangle, triangle's bigger than 3. If it's looking at square, square is also bigger than 3. If it's looking at circle, circle's less than 3. That's what I've gotten down to so far here. Now, what else can I ask 2, 2, 3? I was going to ask about the ascension, descension, because this would tell me that yes, we do have 2 numbers that ascend. This one passed. 2, 2, 3, part B passed. So I can have a pair. I could have something like this, exactly like this. 2, 2, and then the 2, and then the 2, 3. I could also end up having a 3 and then a 2, 2. That could also work as well. Okay, that gives us possibilities. That's the first true statement we've actually discovered this time, all this time here. And I know that there's a pair. I'm gonna have troubles with this verification card E here. Verification card E is going to be very difficult. Verification card E is going to be difficult. If I tried verification card E on this code and it fails, because this is only like strictly bigger than less than. Like right now, the only number that it's actually looking at right now is for me, that it's not working with purple. Purple is not strictly bigger than the other two and not greater. It's not less than the other two and it's not bigger than the other two. So for me, that's telling me that this card is not looking at purple. Ooh, that's actually information. Right? Is that information for me? Could I assume that if this card was looking at purple and it failed, purple's not the biggest. Oh yeah. See, so if for verification card E, if purple is not the big, it's maybe saying that circle is the smallest. If it's looking at purple. I can't deduce anything about blue or orange, yellow, whatever it is. Okay, so E failed. I wonder how many questions it's going to take. Here. I gotta start putting some of this information together, though. I gotta put some of this information together. That I do know that there is a 2-number ascension or descension. two-number ascent or descent. I do know that. And I do know that there's a pair. You would think that this would actually be easier than the others. Oh my gosh. I gotta come up with a code to guess here, though. Gotta try to find a code to verify. How do we whittle down? This is my question here, though, because I'm still trying to wrap my head around these. I'm trying to wrap my head around these three here. I'm trying to wrap my head around them. I'm trying to wrap my head around what's a number, a sequence of numbers that I could guess that would help me come up with what color that particular is talking about without actually having to ask like a whole bunch of different permutations. Like, I could sit here and just ask this one, okay, since I know, trying to figure out which one you are, put a blue even and then two odds. Nope. Okay. Put this one as an even and these are odds, or put these two as evens and this one's an even and these two are odds, and that would tell me. My gosh. Or can I just try to I guess that's my whole I guess that's where I guess I'm not I have to practice. I guess I have to practice these ones more, because I am not coming up with how they come up with this solution. I'm going to have to put just because I'm taking a look at my clock here, and I do have something coming up here at 10 o'clock our time. So I am going to have to put a pin in this one, quite frankly. And so I am not going to, I don't want to click on the solution. I don't want to know what the answer is. I want to try to figure this out, but I just don't know exactly how I'm going to end up doing that. This one, I bit off way more than I could chew by selecting hard. Just because I haven't encountered these kinds of cards yet in the Turing Machine. So, ooh, good on you, Turing Machine. I have now got a new puzzle that I need to try to figure out, and I'm actually probably not going to sleep tonight until I actually figure it out. And the pressure of live video here is actually getting to me, because I'm like, oh my gosh, how do I actually do this? Rochelle, do you have any guesses or ganders or insights that you can share with me tonight? Because I don't know where I'm going to go with this. I have no idea where I'm going to actually go with this. Don't know what I'm going to do with this. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. Yeah, a practice would be good. Something to look forward to. No guesses. Sorry. That is A-okay. I think I just need to go back to the drawing board, and I need to wrap my head around on how these three cards work, and how I can link my information and come up with good educated guesses on to help me whittle those down without actually having to ask, the machine, a ton of questions. There has to be someone that can consolidate. And I guess that would be the good, experienced, hard mode type of player that would be able to do this. Ooh, good one, Turing Machine. I love this game. I'm loving the brain burn that it's giving me. But I need to go and practice this one. There you go. You got this one on the screen there. Number C51KS1K. You could type that one into. I'm actually. I have a screenshot of it here. But you could go back to the homepage and you can type that number in. I think you just go back here and you just go problem search. You go problem search, and you can just type in that ID. You can type in that ID, and it would bring you to this particular game. Or you can go to your game history. So right there, I can find my game history. And it was a solo co-op, and I generated it. And there's the game again for myself. So I can actually go into my game history and find it. Good one, Turing Machine. Good one. Well, folks, I apologize that I have to cut this stream off a little bit early before we actually end up coming to the solution of this particular puzzle. But on a bright side, I did solve the daily challenge. I got 7 daily challenges in a row. Let's go. Loving it. Hard mode. For me, it hard. Just because I haven't wrapped my head around these 3 cards yet. I just haven't. So, well, if you've made it this far, it was fun. Well, thank you, Rachel, Rochelle. When we actually get to talk in person one day, I'll actually figure out what the pronunciation is. It 1 or 2? Is it Rachel or is it Rochelle? 1 or 2, I guess. The first one. Okay, good. Okay. So, Rachel, thank you for joining me this evening. It's been a lot of fun. And everybody else who's watching this at a later time, if you have not already done so, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, live Tuesdays and Thursdays. Turing Machine. Oh my goodness gracious, we got a good one on our hands here. They have a smash hit. It's got a lot of buzz for a lot of good reasons. I need to go back to the drawing board. I need to go attend my 10 o'clock appointment here. But hey, I'll be back at her really, really, really soon. I actually don't have a plan for Thursday yet, so maybe I just continue with this. All right, folks. I'll come back to you later. Ciao, everybody. Have yourselves a great evening. And yeah, I'll see you on Thursday night with whatever that's going to be. Peace, everybody. Cheers.